So I think that the perception of salespeople isn't as high as it could be. And I think we've got the opportunity to evolve that. And you know that because, like, let's face it, certainly in financial services, nobody even calls themselves salespeople anymore. Like, they're all business development managers, right? And so who says sales? So I think that that's one element internally. And then externally, if you think about that concept and why people change their name to business development managers, it's because we need to make sure that in that sales profession, they're actually putting the consumer hat on, the customer hat on, and saying, okay, well, if I think about it from your perspective, I'm in the business of developing your business as well as developing my business, but how can I help you?
It's an interesting question because I think the connotation of sales comes with negativity, but yet regardless of whether you're in the corporate environment or whether you're in a retail environment, there's always an element of sales. Being in the corporate industry and, obviously, working my way up within the corporate environment, you never talk about sales, but yet the customer is always the focal point of where we should be. We discuss business processes, systems, refinement, financials, improvement, but yet no one talks about sales because I do think it's the connotation. But in saying that, you think when you appoint particular people, as in business development managers, relationship managers, well, what is their role? Their role is effectively sales. Being in the healthcare industry, we've got dentists, we've got dental assistants, we have a corporate environment, yet everyone within that role is essentially playing a sales role. We just don't have the skills to be able to really, when I look at it, the deficits are, we appoint these people because we think they've got the capabilities and the skills, but yet the sales component has never been trained, or there's never been a real kind of framework that actually targets how do we communicate with the customer, how do we adapt and really refine our model around our sales environment and attract that customer within our corporate environment.
Sales as a function is as important as it ever was. It has always been a vital part of the business expenditure. I hesitate to say marketing because a lot of people say sales and marketing are not exactly the same thing. But it's always been vital when you have, for example, a product that you're selling that is financially reasonably expensive. You probably don't need sales if you're selling a $10 widget, right? But if it's expensive, if it's customized, if it's a product that isn't, you don't buy off the shelf, they're not rolling it off an assembly line, it's not a set service package that's described in a product disclosure statement. It's something that's going to be customized in a way to fit the customer's need. You need sales. You need personal selling there. If it is something that is an infrequent purchase, so that the buyer doesn't have a lot of experience, it's not something they do out of habit, it's not a purchase they're familiar with, you're going to need personal selling involved. That's always been the case, and I don't think that's going to go away. And in fact, there's this dialogue going as to whether or not all these algorithms, this AI, will somehow replace personal selling. And almost certainly the answer is no. It's going to be a complement to personal selling. It's going to inform the sales representative, the customer relationship representative, if I can use some of the more modern terms. It's going to inform them a little bit more about what they might present to the customer that's likely to solve the customer's problem. It's not likely to be a substitute because AI isn't going to help with big purchases, with customized solutions, with purchases that the buying organization isn't familiar with making. All of those things I think are still going to involve and necessitate having a person involved in the personal selling process.